If you love movies and movie discussions, you've come to the right place. Who might you ask? I am the Wiz, and I'm here today to review the 2010 horror, fantasy, comedy, Christmas movie. My God, it's so many things. Rare Exports: A Christmas Tale, directed by Jayamari. Oh my God, I am so sorry. Directed by Jayamari Helander. I know I butchered that name. I am so sorry. So this film is kind of strange. Basically, this is about two young boys named Petrie and Juuso. They think a secret mountain drilling project near their home in northern Finland has uncovered the tomb of Santa Claus. However, this isn't like the Coca-Cola Santa that we all know. This is a monstrous, evil version of Santa. However, when Petrie's father captures an old man with his wolf trap, it kind of uncovers a bigger thing that's going on. The first thing I have to talk about is this is a very odd mix of a film. It's like a mix of horror, comedy, children's Christmas movies with a bit of an action movie ending at the end. This movie is bonkers all over the place for a lot of reasons. It seems like with most of the film, it seems kind of serious, and then it gets goofier and goofier as the time goes on, but maintains like this seriousness that is, I would say, more like a horror film of sorts, or like a thriller. But it's also pretty goofy with the way it treats the children in this movie and how everything's a little more exaggerated. But also there's some blood, there's some scary parts to the movie. It's weird. There is a definite weird mix in this movie, which some people will go, well, that sounds interesting, and others will be like, what the hell is this? The other thing about this film is that this is a very short film. This is about 75 minutes long. I was actually stunned by how short it was. And the reason why I was stunned was because it still felt pretty slow. Like, this film, I would say, for about 50 minutes is on a very slow pace. But when the film starts to pick up, with, like, when they get that old man and when weird things starts to happen, it really doesn't pick up all that much. It still maintains that kind of slow pace, which, again, is odd because it's a 75-minute film. Honestly, a film that is 75 minutes and felt like it dragged is really not a good thing, at least for me. But what I will say is that this film does have an interesting concept. I do like the concept of an evil Santa. There are a lot of TV shows that use the concept of an evil Santa. But I think also, didn't Krampus come out like a few years back as well, which is essentially an evil Santa? So there's that kind of interesting thing in there. And this interesting concept will definitely interest some. And this is the weird thing about this movie. I definitely think that this film is interesting in its concept, but I didn't find the film itself that interesting. And really, it's because I felt that the mix they were going for didn't work for me. But I will say this, though. The mix that they chose are three styles of genre that I'm just not a fan of. One is horror. I just don't like horror. Corny children's Christmas films are not my thing either. And I like some action films here or there, but I'm not a big fan of action films. So I think, in my end, I think the mix just did not work for me. But if that does sound good to you, I think you will enjoy this, especially if you want to watch a Christmas movie that isn't very Christmassy. Because this feels like a horror movie, but plays out like an action movie with a tinge of a children's movie. I think some people will find a lot of enjoyment out of this movie. I just didn't. I just found myself watching this and being like, this is definitely interesting, but I'm just not clicking with this at all. So overall, I will not recommend Rare Exports: A Christmas Tale. Like I said in the review, this is going to be someone's jam. This is going to be something that some people will look at this and go, this is awesome. I find this great. I find this interesting. I find it fascinating. And it's just not for me. I don't think it's a badly made film. I actually think it looks pretty good for its budget and for what they did with the film. I think the concept of it's interesting, but just the mix of the three genres and how the film felt like it was dragging, even though it was only 75 minutes long, just really did not fit well with me and just did not work with me. But like I said, there are going to be some people who are going to watch this, and this is going to be their thing. They're going to enjoy it. So even though I am not recommending it, if this sounds good to you, I will say to you, check it out. So overall, I will not recommend Rare Exports: A Christmas Tale. But if you are interested, it is on Tubi, it is on Pluto, and it's also on Peacock. I believe on all three they're free. So even though you don't pay for Peacock, you can probably watch it right now without a membership. So if you're interested, check it out.
Now, if you want my full review on this movie, you can go to my website at IamTheWiz.com. You'll have my full written review right on the site, along with a link to the video that has this review that you've just listened to. Thank you for listening to this review. If you want to know what we're reviewing in the next couple of days, you can look on the screen right now to see what's coming up next. If you like what you heard, go ahead and leave a like on this video. If you want to discuss your opinion on the film or the review itself, please leave a comment. And if you want to hear more, subscribe to the channel. Thank you again for listening. I will talk to you next time.